Hi
guys.
everyone! Hello friends! I wanted to make a drink before we started, but we're here now. And I've only got water about a metre away from me, and I'm not going to grab it. But I kind of wanted a juice, because we usually have like a fun little drink with us.
I have like a sip left of Monster.
That's just bragging.
I'd let you have it, but you wouldn't want it.
No, I wouldn't have your last sip. That's all yours, friend.
I know.
Hi everyone!
Hi guys!
I'm Eliz.
I'm Lilyemma.
Welcome back to Blonde Vibrations!
Woo!
Champagne Whispers!
Oh, episode 20.
I put here, welcome, I'm 20, and then welcome to your 20s, Champagne
Oh, yeah, I love that. Welcome to your 20s.
Whispers. The next one will be a legal adult in America.
Yeah.
Not this one though, just shy.
Next time.
Just a little bit shy. How are we all doing? It feels like
Yeah.
it has been a while since we've recorded one of these.
Yeah, because the last episode was a normal episode, so I don't know why it feels like that.
It just does feel like a while, 'cause
Yeah.
in my mind, the last episode didn't happen.
It did.
There's no reason to think that. In my mind, the last episode was your birthday one.
Yeah.
That's not true.
I agree, and that was quite like a monumental episode as well, so I'm not sure why we've both blocked it out of our heads.
I really enjoyed the last one. Maybe it was just like the low-key one. It didn't need to make like a name for itself.
It just existed.
It was like the stable friend. It's always going to be there. So I hope you watched or listened to it. If you haven't, maybe before this one, go and be a real one and go check that one out instead.
Yeah, and then come back here.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best.
Not that you need to listen to them in order.
No, but if you missed the birthday one, this is 2 episodes back, we did the birthday interview for Lilyemma. You actually do need to be, like, doing that now. Like, it's been a few weeks. You don't want it to be too long and then think, like, gosh, I need to go and message her saying happy birthday.
Yeah.
And turns out it's July. And she's also halfway to the next age
Oh,
now.
happy half birthday.
When's your half birthday? September?
Maybe, yeah.
Well, mine's October.
So yeah, it would be September 4th.
So if you're watching that one on September 4th, happy half B-day for this one. Anyway, that's not what we're talking about this week. What are we talking about this week?
We're talking about, like, I don't know how to phrase it.
We're talking about...
Go on. You try, I'm trying to sum it up in a way that isn't the title.
Well, it kind of is the title.
Yeah.
We're exploring the topic of, you know...
Yeah, right? Like, it's giving we're writing an essay. Like, yeah, there sure is a title, and you sure are navigating something.
We're basically discussing, Pov, you're in a friendship group where you've got a friend, and...
You've got a friend.
You've
Congrats,
got
guys.
a friend, and yeah, they're there for you, they give you advice and stuff, but sometimes there's that little, like, the little bit, like, in the back of your brain thinking, like, are you being real with me right now?
Yeah, like, are you setting me up for failure?
Yeah.
Are you sabotaging me?
Are you secretly, like, jealous of me? Why? What's the reason behind this? Like, you're coming away from a situation, they might not be saying, you know, you're awful, you're doing all this wrong, yeah. But, you know, they're giving you advice and you're thinking, I don't feel good coming away from that situation. Whether they were talking about something positive or negative, then bringing in the title seamlessly, it really is just navigating the difference between real and fake support from friends.
Yeah.
To be honest. And what to do if you're feeling like that.
Yeah, if you feel like someone's sabotaging you.
Ooh, I really hope no one popped into your brain then.
But imagine if you're like, oh, I'm going to find out if so-and-so is sabotaging me through this episode. Whoa.
I'll put it out there. They're not close to us now, so I feel like I can say there are some people that I feel like do this, and if someone did pop into your brain, I don't think you should ignore that.
Yeah.
Is that not a real telltale sign that if you're hearing all of those words,
you're like,
someone's just like lingering there? Sit with that for a minute. Maybe don't, you know, block them immediately, but there must be a reason why you've been thinking those things.
Yeah. Well, we're going to unpack that today.
Yeah, I actually just started off by saying that it's a real tricky one.
That's what I wrote.
I didn't write those exact words.
I feel like this is something that is hard to distinguish.
It's so difficult. Because at this age, like, and I put this later on, no one is going to be like, I'm being fake right now.
Yeah.
It's more not what they say, but how they say it. It's almost like reading between the lines.
Yeah.
And at this age, you want to surround yourself with real people. You want to get rid of this dead weight, but it's really hard to decipher the difference in a lot of scenarios.
Yeah, I also feel like when you're in kind of your early 20s, you know, you're actually like getting like adjusted to adulthood. I feel like you actually, whether you've got like past experience that have caused this or not, you kind of have like this innate trust issues. And I feel like this isn't like, that's like a phrase that gets thrown around a lot, but I feel like when you're adjusting to like a period of life, it's kind of normal to have trust issues, whether that's you're meeting new people and like people who you wouldn't have met when you were like 16, or whether that's you're having new experiences. I feel like it's kind of really hard to gauge who's kind of a reliable friend when your friend dynamics majorly shift from when you're a teenager to when you're in your 20s. Like, I don't think anyone kind of says that enough, is that your friendships change, even if it's with the same people. The dynamics change, the like power kind of shifts, and I feel like a kind of sense of distrust in a lot of people is kind of natural.
It's quite difficult, like how you were saying that things change, like dynamics shift and everything. You could find yourself in a situation, I'll put myself in this position for you. I'm not saying that any of these people are potentially fake. Right now, I would say we have ourselves a little group.
Yeah.
Me, you, and Caitlin.
Yeah.
You and Caitlin, new friends. Me and you, we're not new friends, but if you want to go history-wise, yeah. Although we have a few years at this point, so it's not new. We didn't meet last week. We've not known each other a decade.
Yeah.
Me and Caitlin, we also haven't really known each other a decade, so I don't quite know what I'm doing with this. But like school friends, so there's different dynamics there within one group. And I don't think, like, it's really difficult because you'd both be giving me advice about the same thing, but you know different like lore in scenarios and stuff. Yeah. So if one of you was the imposter, it would be really difficult because you're just coming from different perspectives and different experiences that initially you can't just be like, you're a newer friend so you're fake, or like she knows she's going to bring up something from my childhood that I don't want her to bring up, fake. Do you know what I mean? It's really difficult.
I also kind of thought when I was first thinking about this topic is that you think in this scenario, okay, so your friend is giving you bad advice, you've maybe followed it. At first you think, oh, well, you've got to be like naive, but I don't think it's as clear cut as like you're gullible, so you're falling for this bad advice, because sometimes it can be so disguised. Sometimes I kind of have more to say about this, so I'll get into it later, but I feel like sometimes they don't realise they're doing it. Like, I think it's very normal, but it feels like you're all being really foolish when it happens.
Because it might not have seemed like bad or like unsupportive advice at the time. If you know what, there's lots of situations where you have to kind of quink.
Quink.
You kind of have to quink.
Quink. I love that.
Do you know what
this is? To say?
Quickly think. You're gonna have to quink.
Quink! No way. Oh my gosh,
funny.
That's like changed things. Like
Add
you're
it
like
to the blonde vocabulary.
What do you want for dinner?
Quink. No, it's because the way
you want anything from the shops, Quink.
I'm walking into co-op, Quink, tell me something. Because I'm always like, if I give her options to do something, I'm like, kill one, but it's gonna be like, kill one, Quink. Oh, it made me never get what I was gonna say. Sometimes there's a lot of situations where you have to quickly think about things, and you just need someone's advice. You don't have all this time to explore all your options. You just need, Quink, tell me something. And you might not think at the time it's anything. You might just roll with it, be like, she was there. I asked the group chat something, had to go with it. She was the first one that answered, and afterwards, we were like, like that's the worst decision ever. Yeah. There's so many reasons why that could have been. It needs unpacking more than just like fake, you know. Yeah. Whatever.
I also think before we really get into it, we have to address like the slight irony of the fact that we're talking about people giving bad or not true advice when we sit here and expect you to take our advice. And I think that kind of like, you know, sometimes it's not necessarily bad advice, it's just not applicable. Maybe that's the like eloquent way to say it, is that
misinformed.
Yeah, and also people are just existing too. And sometimes it's not that you want advice because you're incapable of deciding something yourself, but it's, you just want to hear the other voices and other perspectives. It's not necessarily like, I'm going to take what you're saying completely and I'm going to live my life by your suggestions. I think that's like the first thing that I think you can do to kind of avoid these situations, is see advice as suggestions rather than like, this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah, you don't have to hear the first thing and follow it.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to throw out there one, like, it's not a telltale sign of someone being fake, but something to, like, watch out for.
Yeah.
And I've said, big flag of fake support is being a yes man, but not, oh, if someone just agrees with what you're saying, they're being fake, they're being a yes man.
Yeah.
It is a bit more nuanced, because I've said it might not come from a place of toxicity, but maybe not wanting to rock the boat. And that is like, whatever, like, if is that good or bad, they just don't want to like cause any rifts in the group or whatever. But the blind support there and not really delving into what you need is sometimes still bad. And like isn't providing the support you need in something.
Yeah, you know, if you say if you go into the group chat and you're like, guys, shall I cut my hair? And someone like straight away is like, yes. No further thought. There's no like, if you want to, like have you been thinking about this for a while? Like, you know, what kind of short?
Yeah, what length? Like layers? When do you mean? Like
taking an interest in what you're doing so that they can provide the proper advice and not, I feel like because if they ask questions and they are thinking about it more, that kind of shows that their advice isn't going to be misinformed, which is when the kind of accidental bad advice comes in, and it might not be malicious, but it's just not, you're not really thinking about the scenario, you're just sending me off this like blind route.
Because of course there's other times when, like, if you and your friend are at that place where you've spoken about something, like, you know, if you were like, shall I message? And I'm just like, yes, because we've had this conversation multiple times and we've always reached that same conclusion and nothing else has been added, so it's the same conclusion. But I've put here, like, if you're about to submit something and you really want someone to go through and constructively criticise it, and they're just like, great. It's not always. Sometimes it is what you want. I will put that out there.
Yeah, sometimes I get Eliz to read something before I send it and I just want her to be like, there's nothing glaringly wrong. Yeah,
like, if you're about to submit, you are on the deadline is in 1 hour for something, you know, and you've told everyone you don't have time for changes. If you've read it and you think it's good, that's all I need. It's a yes. Or we're about to go out, you've put on this outfit that you've been waiting weeks for, and you're like, is it fine? Is it fine? And then everyone's like, yeah. Sometimes that little, like, not that it's a white lie, not that it's anything, but just that little bit of support.
Reassurance.
Yeah, just that extra yes is really what you want, and it makes you happy and confident in that situation. And if they were like, no, that's, you know, that dissertation you're about to submit, oh my god, it's so bad.
Yeah, like, I don't understand what you're saying.
Yeah, or like that outfit, did you know it was ugly when you put it on?
Yeah.
Like, just because you're giving advice that you think is good in that moment, it might not be all you want is like a like, that's nice. Or like if everyone else is like, oh my god, I'm so excited about this thing.
But then also like on the flip side, what if you were going for like a meal and you text the group chat a picture of your outfit and you're in like a really nice dress, you're in like heels, and you're like, is this the vibe? And everyone's like, yeah, like, you look really nice. And then you get there and everyone's in like parachute trousers and like Air Force.
If that happened, I think that's
because
way
that's
beyond.
Different.
That's so far beyond like the yes. That's like, you guys are setting me up. Why? Yeah. That's beyond what. That's a whole group of people that hate you.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I am sorry if that has happened to you. And I've seen this on TikTok a few times where I've seen this. It was a group of 3 and they were like, we're all going to the shop. Don't worry, we're wearing our pajamas. So this girl, imagine how I go to bed. This girl showed up like that and they were in matching sets. They hate you. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There can be no way where they're trying to be like...
because you're not sleeping in that.
No, it's like in Gilmore Girls, really early seasons, they like they at the private school they did this like raid where they come get you in the night, and Rory knew about it and Lorelai knew about it, and she was in lip gloss and mascara and a matching set, and she didn't tell Paris, and Paris was in retainer, hair up, spot patches or whatever, and she was like, that's how you go to sleep? And Rory was like, yeah. She was like, I hate my life. Like, I'm sorry, Rory, you should have told her.
Yeah, because that wouldn't have affected anything.
Yeah, that's kind of like, it's going off the point a little bit, but I think that's like fake friend, like not looking out for your friend and giving support. Like, she didn't like ask. She wasn't like, how are you going to bed or whatever, but...
Yeah, but you were getting ready in this probably the same dorm, right, at this point?
Yeah.
And like, you've seen her get ready, put her retainer in, put her sports stickers on.
Yeah.
And you've just not done anything about it.
That's not okay. But going back to like the yes man point.
Sorry.
I said, but if I would like seriously sat down was like to you, I'm looking for constructive criticism. Tell me what needs improving, and you decide in that moment, nah, I'm gonna go down there like, yes, girly, 100% perfect, no notes, even though you might actually be able to see some. This might not be a character flaw per se on you, but we're incompatible in what we want to give to each other. I need something
to actually be truthful when I ask for it.
Yeah, I need something to maybe not hurt my feelings, but if I'm wanting tough love here, and I don't need you to blow smoke or whatever that phrase is. I need you to tell me what I need to do to improve. Yeah. Like, if I said to you, like, oh, you're not being a hater, just tell me. Yeah. And you were like, no, it's fine. Yeah. And then it came back, and there were all of these circles, and then you were like, I did think that. Oh. Yeah. Oh, if you said that. I was thinking that at the time, but I just didn't want to tell you.
Yeah, it was kind of awkward.
Like, we've both not communicated, and therefore it can't really be genuine support. It's not to say that you'd be a bad person. Yeah. We're misaligned in like what we need from each other.
Absolutely.
So on the flip side of kind of blind positivity, I would say, there's also the route of opportunities to be negative where negativity just like isn't due. Does that make sense? So I've said, if you're, I always go for like you, if you're doing something, it makes sense. If you're going up for a job and you're like, oh, I don't know if I'm like qualified or something, shall I just do it? And someone's like, no, like why bother? Don't like, and it won't even be as what's overt and covert, which is
overt is openly, covert is hidden.
Okay, so it won't be as overt. It will be more on the covert. So they're not going to be like, you're not like qualified.
Yeah,
like,
you shouldn't do it. That.
But it will be almost like,
oh, that's going to be a really hard application. Like, are you sure you have time for that?
Yeah, do you have it in you? But it will be like planting the seeds of doubt in way. I can't think of more like subtle ways, but it will be those like on the lower side. Like
oh, I've heard their rejection rate's really high.
Or like someone I knew did it last year and they actually got 100% in their exams, so like, and you didn't, so like, I don't know.
I'm going to say this example because there's no way she's going to watch this. There was once this person that suggested a job for me, and I was like, oh, I'm actually not looking right now, but Eliz is, so I'll send it over to her. But like, if you can give her any help with her application, like this and that. And she was like, yeah, okay. They were looking for like really high standard. Like the last person that did it was like the same role but for like Chanel. And I was like, well, A, why have you sent it to me then? And B, why have you said this after I've just said that Eliz is going for it? Like what was the point of this? Like, you went out of your way to send this to me, and then straight away you're like, yeah, they're looking for really high standard.
Like, why are you acting like I'm not, like, educated and qualified in any way? I have a similar thing, which I'll butcher the way it was, because I can't remember. Someone really close to us, I wanted to go for a job that was, like, a step above, like, what I wanted. And I can't remember what she was saying. But she was making me feel like I wasn't at all qualified for this role.
It was to do with management, wasn't it? They were kind of like, oh... yeah, but you've not got any manager experience, so I don't know, like, if you can do it, because you've not got, like, I don't know if you'll get an interview because you've not got any manager experience, and it's like...
And she would, like, double down on this, like, but you don't have the experience.
It was so weird. We were, like, actually friends with her, and every time we mentioned it, she was like, but what about the manager stuff?
Yeah, or, like, so how are you even going to answer that question? And I'd be like, well, you know what, like, yeah, I have to have some experience. I understand that, and I didn't have management experience, but I had other things
that you can apply.
Have you ever heard of transferable skills? Have you? And I would try and like clap back with this, and then it would be like silence
Just
for a little bit.
Deaf ears. It's like you just said it to a brick wall, and you should just be there like.
Needless to say, that person is not in our life anymore.
But it's so weird because it was also a job that you've been waiting to apply for, and it's like, what is the need for this negativity? Like, this is when, like, even if you were thinking it, why are you saying it? Because it's something that you'd been waiting for months for this position to be put up.
I was gagging for this role.
like, what was the need?
Also, it's a case of, I knew that.
Yeah.
You're saying that, and you're building upon this insecurity that I already have in that situation, because it's not like I was going like, yeah, and I'm completely suited for this role. And she's like, but I think you need to be careful.
Manage your expectations.
Yeah, like, I understand, I'm really excited for you, but there is that one bit that you need to, like...
work on.
Yeah, understand that there might be some, you know, apprehensions on the hiring team.
It's a really hard thing to distinguish the level between, like, someone knows it so you don't need to tell them, but also reminding someone of something. I think it comes with emotional maturity, which that person didn't have. But I think like it's kind of a case of, you know, when someone needs to be told something and when they don't.
It's read the room.
Yeah,
at the end of the day,
you don't need to tell someone that they know it.
Yeah, like, if they really are your true friend, it comes down to, like, knowing the other person, how they'll react to this. You shouldn't feel like you should be, like, walking on eggshells around a person or anything. Like, don't not say it for those reasons. But, you know, if they are really quite aware of it, if they've got that big question mark there themselves, why pile on more? And if I saw my friend doing that, well, with that situation... It was very subtle, so it could go on for months. Now, having known that, I think I would see those things straight away. Sometimes when people say things, I'm like, are you just being a hater? Like, my, like, instinct now. Because then they can clarify. And then that's not the most, like, sophisticated advice. But, like, ask your friend if she's being a hater. But if you're being like, what do you mean by that? Like, why are you saying that? Yeah, it doesn't have to be a full confrontation, but if you're like, can you just explain what you mean by that further? Because usually, if someone is just kind of not acting in their best interest, in your best interest, they might not even have, like, a full explanation of what they mean. They might just be like, oh, you know, I don't know, just and if they start being, then you're like, well, there's not really a lot to your argument here, so I'll just carry on with my, like, happy way. Yeah,
I kind of thought about a similar thing. I think sometimes it's important to kind of take that step back and kind of check that there's not any patterns, and I think you need to find a way to do this that isn't necessarily putting your friend on, like, trial. You know, I'm not saying that this evening I'm going to sit there and make, like, a list of things that Eliza said no to and seeing, but I think sometimes you do need to, especially if you're starting to get that gut feeling, being like, I don't know, things aren't really going my way and I feel like I keep making the wrong move and I keep asking this friend this. I think you need to take a step back and kind of think, like, are there any patterns here? Are they saying no to things that I think actually I would have been well suited for? Are they saying yes to things that are setting me up for failure? You know, for example, like, if someone keeps on, like, a different way, I guess, if someone keeps sending you jobs that are, like, majorly beyond your abilities and you keep applying and this keeps taking a toll on, like, your, like, mental health, your, like,
taking up time to apply for things,
or even, like, your financial stability, you know, if, like, I kept sending you jobs, but it's like, well, that's not what I should be focusing on now, but I trust that you think that I'm going to be a well fit for this job. I think you need to take a step back and be like, actually, does this person have my best interest? And you can't majorly think like that when you're in that cycle of kind of taking that. So sometimes you do need to take a step back, look at it from another perspective and be like, is this quite right? That's really funny that you've said about the job things. I've explicitly put, I wouldn't tell you to go ahead with a doctor's surgeon role, but in academia. But it's true though, like, seeing that, like, so, and this isn't me saying I'm a perfect support system. I believe, well, because I have your best interests completely at heart, I will put you forward for things. I will show you things. Yeah, that would actually be suited. So I sent you on LinkedIn the other day. It's irrelevant now, but Penguin's Publishing personal assistant or something. That, I look at that and I read that and I have 2 lanes. I apply for it myself, or I give it to you and I'm like,
that you would be happy and
Yeah.
getting money, and like that is suited for you. It's not for me, so I'm going to put you forward for that. If I saw like dentistry or something,
why would you
like,
send that to me?
mate, I really think you should like go for it. Like, you never know, and like, obviously you never know, but you know, I am setting you up for a little bit of failure there.
Yeah, I feel like, as always, we have to be a tiny bit devil's advocate about it. And I don't know, sorry if we've said this in a previous episode, we've recently become really like introspective about the people around us, not in like a like hyper analysing way, but we kind of, I just pulled my mic. We kind of had this realisation that, what? Do you know what I'm going to say?
No, pull my mic, who was else? Sorry. Go ahead.
We had this realisation, and it sounds like a really big-headed, but we realised like in nature that we're very like considerate people. Like, we think about every avenue and every like possibility and how other people feel, and we kind of had this like epiphany that not everyone thinks like that. And at first you kind of sit there and you're like, oh my god, like, I am the best person on the planet, and everyone's...
Am I better than everyone?
And, like, everyone's trash because they're not thinking about my feelings in this scenario. Like, they're not thinking, is she comfortable? Do you know what I mean? Like, things like this. And then you kind of realise, actually, no, it's neither which way. That's just a trait that you have and a trait that someone else doesn't have. And there's no, like, you're a better person and you're a worse person.
Yeah,
because the same way they could look at us and be like...
Why do they care so much about other people?
Yeah, or, you know, even... I'm trying to think of, like, another trait that we don't have that other people would value. Like, you know, social battery. Someone could have an insane social battery and, like, every event they go to, they say hi to every single person. That is not something we do. And someone could look at us and be like, that's a trait that I have that they don't have. We're not worse people for that, and they're not better people for that. That's just two different traits.
Yeah, and some people... I don't know why I go to say fire signs will be like the ruthlessness of being like, do what, like, I am looking for myself, my foot forward. I'm not really fussed about you. Like, it's a dog eat dog world. You're the main character in your own life. That is all true.
Yeah.
But when it comes to your friends, it should be a little bit different.
Yeah, I think there's still a certain level of it where you can be friends with someone who genuinely does not actually think like that. You know, they're not scrolling through LinkedIn thinking about other people, and I don't think that's a bad thing, because they could be so focused on getting something for themselves that they're not doing that. I don't think we should criticise someone for being like that. If you are like us, maybe it's a case of like, actually there's only so many of those people you can have in your life, which sounds really harsh, but it's that case of like, some people are just better suited to be friends. And if you're like us and you see something and you send it to your friend, think this would be a great opportunity for you, but you're surrounded by like 5 other people who don't do that, it might be a case that you need to kind of swap those people out, and they can find other people like them who don't do that and will live a really happy life, and they're not a horrible person, it's just that they don't.
All in their own lane.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think I understand this to an extent. I think you can absolutely be fighting for yourself. Yeah. It's my world. You're all just living in it. I don't have to be going on LinkedIn finding these jobs for you, or finding these people on Hinge and being like, I'm going to send them to you. I don't have to be doing anything preemptively, but I think reactively, if you came to me asking for advice, I don't think I'd be like, this is your application, why are you not doing it? Yeah, like, you have to like use what you've got up here. And I understand people are busy. Yeah. So if your friend turns around and says to you like, I don't think I'm in the headspace to, you know, give you the support on this right now, or give you the advice because it's a little bit beyond my means, like, that's all fair. But if they are the kind of people that will give you time, but they're like, that's where I think there's a bit of a difference.
I wonder if also that kind of people give bad advice without realising it.
Well, because it's like rushed.
I don't know if that's us like being a bit too trusting, maybe. Sometimes I do wonder, once I kind of get out of like the angry stage of like, you've just given me bad advice, it's because they're so wrapped up in themselves that they've not really thought it through. And they've not thought like, oh, actually, if I said like, yes, go ahead with that application, I've not thought like that one rejection's going to really set you back, like, happiness wise. They've just thought like, yeah, go for it. They've not really thought through the steps of like, if I say yes and they don't get it, they're going to be upset. So I'm going to really look at the, like, what they need in the job description.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know, because I can't actually put myself in that thought pattern, but I wonder if some people are like that.
I have another question. This is where I'm like, I don't know whose side I fall on anymore now that we, like, delve into it more.
Like, once we look into that, like, psychology of the, like...
So my question without an answer is, how much time should you be putting aside to be advising your friends? Like, support and advice are different. I think you should always be supporting your friends, but how much should you actively be giving them the advice, and how much should it be you follow your own path, where you need the support, where things aren't going how you imagined or how you wished, and where, you know, if you were you were applying for something where I had answered similar questions, so there I could provide you with advice and support, and I wanted to. Did I have to? No. Would I be a bad friend if I said no? I don't know. That's really difficult, isn't it? Because I would, I guess this is where, like, personal values and morals do come into play, because if I had the time, I was just sat here doing nothing and I just said no, I would feel like a bad friend, but other people might not. If I was really busy, I just got back from work and I was in the morning, I'm like, I gotta go to bed, like, you've left this till the last minute, you've gotta do it. Maybe I'm still not a bad person.
I also wonder if it's a case of, like, we surround ourselves now that we're kind of older and put a bit more thought into who we surround ourselves with. I wonder if we not necessarily consciously surround ourselves with people who have similar schedules and similar, like, work capacity and friend capacity, that we don't have to think about that. Like, I've never once thought, how much time do I dedicate to my friends, because I just do it because you guys do it back. And I think that is a privilege in itself, that we've kind of curated this like a
ecosystem.
Yeah, that's a word I've been writing so many times, so that's so funny that you've just said that. Like this ecosystem of similar-minded people. But I think the bad advice and the imbalance of support can sometimes stem from just being around the wrong people.
So
I don't know.
To circle back, I suppose, if you have someone and you think, no, they're actually just kind of plotting for my downfall.
Yeah, I think that's a whole other thing, isn't it? If there's someone who's actually, like, just friends with you to kind of, you know, keep your enemies closer, there can be people like that, and I think that is a whole different thing, because that is someone who is keeping you there for their own strategy.
Yeah, because...
And that's harder to pick out, I think.
Because I kind of put a chunk aside to say, you know,
chunk.
like... Chunk.
You put a chunk aside.
I put a chunk aside. I did put a chunk of space in my heart aside.
Chunk. I've never heard you say it like that.
Chunk. I'm saying
chunk.
CHUNK. Chunk. Sorry, I'm from the Midlands, guys. I put a chunk aside.
You don't say it like that.
I do.
You don't. You always say chunk.
I don't say it like you.
I've never heard you say chunk.
Chunks. Like the rapper. Is he even a rapper? No, Billy's the rapper.
Sorry, it's been a long day, guys.
Help. No, okay, I put a small bit of space aside to say...
Small bit of space.
A chunk, if you will. Some people aren't the best advice. They might not have been given enough support in their life to know how to give you advice, and they don't have to be an answer to everything. However, if they are putting that time aside to give you poor advice, we do have to question why. And I gave a couple of examples here. If it's someone who's giving you bad career advice, are they in the same path as you? And I think we might have spoken about this briefly, can't place where, that if, you know, you're going up for the same things as someone and they're giving you advice, but it's, you know, I can raise you to this level, but I'm going to stay 2 steps above.
Yeah, like I can give you this crumb, but I'm going to get like a cake slice. But you can have like this crumb. That was a bit of you, wasn't it?
Oh, don't worry, I have one in a bit for you. Romantically, if I was saying to you, I know these guys, like, I'm going to set you up with them, we end up going on dates with these, like, horrible people that aren't, you know, I'm just sending you in the wrong direction romantically, I put are they in a relationship? Are they jealous of your freedom as a single person?
That they want to like waste your time.
Yeah, or they want to keep you single.
Yeah.
Because they're the one that has this relationship that they get to talk about all the time. And then the second you get into a relationship,
you got to split the time.
Yeah, now I don't care about, you know, John. Stop talking about him when I want to talk about Harry. Do you know what I mean? Like, but if you just stay losing, they can stay winning.
I think also, it's kind of sometimes people can self-sabotage without majorly realising they're doing it. You kind of do get that subconscious of... I think you tend to find a lot with people that have had, kind of what you were saying, people who have had, like, unstable or competitive friendships before kind of have that thought pattern kind of ingrained. I think sometimes it can be a conscious, like, I'm going to set them in the wrong direction. Like, 1,000% that can be a thing. But I also think sometimes if they're so used to being in this really, like, competitive industry or competitive friends, they kind of automatically would do it without realising.
Or if they're the centre of attention usually, and then suddenly you're getting a load of things, and they're like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I'm going to have to scramble for, like, every, like, grasp I can have, every trait, like... I'm the one that everyone fancies, so you can't have someone fancy you, so I'm going to try and steal them. Do you know what I mean? I think, A, that is still nasty and that is still mean, but B, if you're the other person, you kind of need to sometimes be the bigger person, which is really annoying, and you have to think, like, no, actually, you're doing that from a place of insecurity. You need to weigh up again the friendship.
I've never, like, I can understand, but I can't support that notion that you've just said of the friend who everyone would fancy. You can't allow space to for your friend to also be, like,
desirable,
looked at romantically, desirable, like, seen as attractive. I hate that. That feels really like, well, we're girls here, so, like, very anti-feminist in that way. Like, this isn't the case, but you know, if, like, I was going on 6 dates a week, and I'm like, no, like, go, like, don't post that, you look too pretty. Like, I don't want the boys to be looking at you like
you have to, we're all going to the pub with, like, the guys don't wear makeup.
I hate it. Like, it really, like, it upsets me because I don't understand why, like, not that everyone's end goal is a relationship, but if someone wants that, how are you not possibly, like, trying to be like, I'll be your wingman tonight? Like, you know what, if there's that person, this is what I would do. I'm off. If you want to go spend one-on-one time with that person, say less. I don't mind being on my phone in the corner. Like, you just do what you got to do with them. Like, I don't understand how in that situation
someone can, in their right mind, cut that off.
Or even, if this ever happened to you, I'm so sorry, take you over to the guy and start being like, oh, this is little Lilyemma, like, oh, she's just a nerd, you know, all this, like, not that that's a bad thing. Or just start being like,
do you know how many sweater vests she owns?
Well, it's for the right person, that would be like, how many, can I have one? But, like, if I started, like, picking on your insecurities in front of boys, or God forbid you fancy someone and I start flirting with them, I don't understand how.
I've had that happen to me before. Not in person, but I've had that. Someone set you up with someone and then they start flirting with them behind your back, and then all of a sudden, like, the guy stops, like being interested, and you're like, what's happened? And it's so cringe.
I can't, like, although I can understand, like, the place of insecurity, or, like, I can't. I try to. I try to understand that some people are built like that and they have to work on themselves, but that's not fair that other people have to struggle because you have to work on yourself. And that's another thing of, like, all of this, they might not be, like, innately bad people,
but they need to work.
Like, and they might have to work on themselves. How much do you have to, quote unquote, put up with in that, like, in that journey? But if you distance yourself from them, they have that time to, like, grow on their own, and then you can also succeed in your own right without waiting for them to become a better person. I didn't even have that in my notes, but that's just, like, unlocks this in my head. But it is true.
If they're looking out for their own interests, you have the right to do the same. Like, if you're in a friendship that feels unbalanced, have that unbalanced in your favour as well.
Oh, well, this is quite good. Watch the people at home be like, this is such bad advice. Like, you're actually
you've lost us with this one.
Yeah, you're being haters. I don't know about that. So I've said, if we're gonna somewhat conclude, my quote was that if you want friends that are gonna, like, uplift you. Like, you want people to uplift you when you don't feel lifted. You don't want them to be lying to you because that's not beneficial, but you don't want them to be like, you know, like giving you just something for no reason. And at the end of the day, you want friends that are going to challenge you and bring you out of your comfort zone in some things. I said, friends should be asking you why not why. Like, that is like expanding you. It's like a why not. We'll see where it goes.
Give it a go.
Yeah, like,
and like if it doesn't go the way we planned, then I'll be there to support you through it. If the decision we've made together doesn't work, we'll be there. Because at the end of the day, you can't expect someone to be like tell the future. Like, you can't ask a friend, should I text this person? The person not respond well, and then be like, well, you told me to do it. And it's like that one that's like.
No, do you remember this? I'm about to like expose myself.
She thinks
so much. So we all know I went through a breakup, and not long after, me, you, and Caitlin were out for pizza in Leicester. I don't know if you remember this. We all decided I should text someone that I was speaking to before uni, because they had something on their story, so I texted we were all like, this is such a sick idea, like, I'm really getting myself back out there.
This is so funny.
This is going to be great, because he is literally 2 streets away right now. I think I literally just put like, backstory to this. Don't know why I'm telling you so much detail. He had actually messaged me not that long before when I was in the relationship.
Open it because you were in a relationship.
I was obviously in a relationship, so I didn't. So I like, what did I even put? I think I was like, hey,
sorry, didn't see
this. How are you, or something? Ignored.
Unfriended, right?
Maybe.
I think she just got cut off. Like, the message disappeared.
It turns out he got a girlfriend.
In those 2 weeks.
Yeah, so understood. Like, I get it. I didn't try again, just if you're all wondering. But I wouldn't turn around to you guys and be like, why would you tell me? Like, oh god, that was your fault. 'Cause at the end of the day, I do have autonomy. You might have told me it was a good idea, but I agreed and I chose to do it. And it's the same with I pressed submit. I put on the outfit and left. If things go wrong,
you can't wholeheartedly blame the other people.
And it doesn't mean it was necessarily bad advice.
Yeah, you know,
it just didn't work out.
You know, I guess, I turned to Liz and Caitlin for dating advice. I am still single, but I'm not going to be like, it's something you guys did, you guys are sabotaging me. Because actually, no one's it's not always sabotage if things don't go your way. I feel like you could watch this episode and you could be like, oh my god, you know what? My life has been pretty bad recently. I have been making these bad moves. Maybe my best friend's sabotaging me. Maybe they're not. All right, let's all maybe we should all decompress a little bit. I feel like we got a bit heated there. Sometimes it's not sabotage. Sometimes it's just everyone was on the wrong track. And also, especially when it comes to your close friends, you're in a bit of an echo chamber.
Also, on this echo chamber thing is sometimes, right, if you're giving this situation about a boy, for example, or a girl, and you're feeding your friends all of this information and they give you advice based on what you've told them, firstly, if you've not told them the whole story, or you've missed out certain bits, or something, you found out something and then you didn't tell them, so they're still working on this out-of-date advice, and then sorry, stay with me guys, then you go along with this advice they've given you based on that and it doesn't work out. How do you expect to be able to blame them if there's not, you're all not in the know at the same time?
Or if, you've got an interview lined up, you've not told anyone, and then you get there, and then the other person's there also had an interview lined up, and neither of you told each other. You can't be like, why did you not tell me?
Because, I didn't tell you.
Sometimes, you're not always in the right, and I'm sure we've not always been in the right. Couldn't name a time, but I'm sure we've not been.
I don't know.
Sometimes we give Caitlin bad advice.
Bringing back this Caitlin thing. Caitlin. I want to take a shot every time I say Caitlin, but between the three of us, we've all been on this dating journey, whatever, this year. Oh, none of us are seeing anyone properly right now, so you could say that we've all been giving each other the
awful
worst
advice. Maybe you guys sit here sometimes and you're like,
how
are you guys agony on?
You're giving relationship advice and you're single. You're always here's how to keep friendships. You're always talking about the next person who isn't in your life anymore. But sorry, things do happen that just are out of our own reach. Like, we can't, like, sorry that the guy, like, cut you off. Like, sorry that this person happened or just ghosted you or whatever. Like, we didn't know.
No.
We tried our best with what we had. And that is because we're good friends. We're trying our best. Obviously, flip it back. There are people that aren't trying their best. Do they need to be? I don't know. But if they've put themselves in that situation where you trust them and they're letting you believe that they're in this, like, support system and they're purposely making or just ignorantly making these decisions, do you cut them off? Do you not?
I don't know. I think it's a case of, like, you kind of need to decide. I think when it comes to, like, is someone giving me good, like, the correct advice, that is something that only you can sit and be like, yes, they are giving me good advice, or no, they're not. Because at the end of the day, I could sit with you and I could be like, every time I work with this person, they give me this advice. And, like, I don't know, I'm starting to think it's not true. Obviously, you can't tell me if it's true advice or not, because you were not in the scenario. You were not the one receiving the advice. You did not hear their tone. You did not see their face. You are actually the only person who can know. And as such, you're the only person that can act on cutting a friend out. I don't think you should ever cut a friend out based on what other people say. In my adult life, I've never done that. Every time I've distanced myself from a friend, it has been from wholeheartedly, I think it's the correct decision and I've done it. I might have asked you for, do you think I'm mildly off? And most of the time it's no. You know, just like they're like clear, like, just clear, I'm not going crazy. But every time it's come from, like, within. I've never done it on, like, a, like, whim, like, oh, well, this person's actually not done this. It's been like a, like, I've sat down, I've thought about this.
Well, I
this
think
isn't right.
With the case of last year with the person, I think I was like to you, like, am I making this up?
And then I was like, no.
And I was like, am I going crazy? And I was like, this, I don't understand what's going on. That was a bit of, like, a blow up, but, like, I had to be like, here's all of the facts. What do you make of it? And I'll ultimately make the decision and based
myself.
off there. I've said about like cutting off versus not cutting off. If someone is purposefully, like, you can tell it's on the more extreme end of things, maybe you don't want them in your life. However, if they're, and again, just take it on the scale of what they're actually doing and how you feel. If it's just someone's not really making you feel the best ever when they're giving advice, whether it's purposefully or mistakenly, you can either talk to them, or you could just kind of, if you still enjoy being their friend at the end of the day, just distance yourself to a point where they're not your main support system.
Yeah, you're not relying on them as much.
Yeah, you're not actively getting advice from them. You can still be friends, but, like, not every friend is someone that you go to for advice.
Yeah.
They just become, and we've spoken about this before, a different type of friend, like the fun friend or the friend you go to the gym with. But it doesn't have to be the friend you go to the gym with and talk about your date from last night and how to message them.
And I think that once you stop asking for support and for advice from people who aren't well suited to give you that, you'll allow for space for people who do give you the amount of support that you need, and then vice versa. Like, you will find the kind of people who are well suited for your needs.
Because I've said, like, my final point is that, like, I'm all for people telling you necessarily, like, not what you want to hear, but what you should be hearing. That's different. You know, like, if you're so in your head about something, you need someone to be like, you need to, like,
chill out.
Yeah, you need to calm down. Like,
you always tell me to calm down.
Because maybe, I don't know, am I being a hater? I don't think I am.
No, yeah.
Because, like, we know each other.
Yeah.
Sometimes you do need to say to someone, like, get out of this bubble. Take it for what it is, not what you've built it up to be in your head. But at the end of the day, like, that's one thing. But you can never really tell someone's intentions. I said this at the beginning. In the pulling together everything we've said today, so rarely people admit, you know, I'm being fake, which is true. Yeah. You can't really tell. You just have to base off how you feel after those interactions. Yeah. You know, if they were kind of being a bit harsh, but you're like, you know what? I needed to hear that. They're harsh in their tone, but that's why I love them. Yeah. But if you're like, they're harsh, I can't.
Just make me sad.
Yeah, all the time I'm just so stressed after what they tell me to do, and it never feels right. Like, whether they're right or wrong, whether you're right or wrong, if you just don't feel good from that part of the friendship, you need to eliminate that, even if you're not eliminating the whole friendship. That's I
think that's a nice thing to close on.
Thank you.
Like, if it's not suiting you, don't force it to.
Yeah. Why do I have to end it stupidly? It's who waters you at your times of need. Like if we're talking,
Oh, again, back to this
let's go
analogy
back
again.
to
The real ones know.
The real ones are watering the plant of friendship. If they're just not water, maybe they're drowning you, and like you just can't take it anymore. Leave the pot.
Thanks for listening or watching, guys.
I really enjoyed
what
that
a note to end
episode.
on. Yeah.
Thank you so
Let
much.
us know, like, if this has like sparked anything in you. Like, if you've been like, yeah, I have to leave my friendship group.
For me, that's complicated matters further.
What if they're like, oh no, like I actually did get told to wear a different outfit to everyone else. Like they all turned up in matching juicies. I was there in my sweater vest.
No. Well, you deserve to be with a group of sweater vests and not the group of juicies then. Or vice versa. Do you know what I mean?
Come hang with us.
I'm not anti-sweater vest. There's kind of been a little bit of propaganda today that might suggest it, but I'm not. I have a sweater vest. I own one. I hold my hand.
One.
I own two.
You gave. Did you give me one? Yeah, I can see it.
I felt like Taylor then. Taylor Easter egg. I've gone too far.
Yeah, we have
Brain
to go.
rot.
We have to go.
If you enjoyed this, subscribe and follow and like and share to your fake friend
Yeah.
or someone that gives you really good advice. Be like, this isn't you. Love ya.
Yeah, could never be you. God, imagine if they were secretly not.
Wait, who's not giving me advice?
No, I mean like you're sending it and saying could never be you.
Oh, okay.
Like,
I was thinking, can I be you? What? I'm gonna. My heart's.
whoa, like this is why we picked this topic. Like this is an intervention.
No. But what if I'm intervening on you?
It's an intervention. Caitlin's not giving us good advice. God, this is a test to see if she listens to this episode.
Oh, damn. Well, yeah, have a really lovely week. The sun is shining, the clocks have changed, summer's coming,
Yeah.
be happy, and cut off those fake friends.
And I got a new
If you
job.
so wish. She got a new job! Ah!
We'll talk about it on Platinum Mixtape.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
We'll end. I'll have a positive thing to say. I asked for a Billie announcement, and then she put me on her close friends.
Yeah.
Billie Eilish and the rest of the world was also put on her close friends, but it doesn't matter.
Give us a comment of something good that's happened to you.
Yay! Bye. Love ya.
Bye, guys.